Hi everyone, just a message from the editing room right now. This podcast was the first one to feature Amir, and we had a lot of fun on it, but it was very chaotic. We got off topic a bunch, and there were some logistical issues. But regardless, I still think it's a good listen, and I really hope you enjoy the podcast. Audio levels are a bit off again, but hope everything works out okay. Thank you for listening. We'll continue to get better, and stay safe. Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to the fourth ever ATSCast. 4 weeks. This is kind of crazy. We haven't been this consistent with content in a while. Shout out to myself. We have a special guest this week. We have our good friend Amir. Say what's up, Amir. I'll do your what's up first.
Did you hear me our Sadbois?
Oh, representing Sadbois. I like it. We'll get into that later. Uh, Going down in alphabetical order as usual. I'm Abid, obviously, your host with the most. I forgot to say that, but it's fine. We have Aaron with us. Aaron, say what's up.
Hello. What's up?
We have Jason.
Hello, hello.
We have Josh.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Jude.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, night,
There we go. Mr. Worldwide.
Baby.
Mr. Worldwide.
We gotta do every intro the same way. We always bring up Pitbull. Anyway. So today, it's gonna be an interesting one. It's mostly gonna be talking about our past selves and stuff. So, Amir, since you're our first guest, I'm gonna hit you with a question that I'm hard copying from the Eavesdrop podcast by Hex.
Sure.
And that's who are you today? You can answer that however you want to.
Okay.
Oh, that's you don't need to look into it deeply. I just meant like you where you're like whatever you want to say to introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Alright.
That's an off podcast topic, dude. Anyway, go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm an undergraduate student from the University of Washington. And
Shout outs, Saunders.
shout out to Seattle.
Yes, sir.
Big sports fan. Probably have too many hobbies I can count. And probably too broke for it as well.
Fucking mood.
Big mood.
Honestly. And literally been blessed with meeting some good people along the way and just riding their friendships.
Oh, that's so sweet, man.
Oh, damn.
Yo, you didn't say we were, but like, yo, I'm gonna take it as we were. So, you're welcome for my friendship, dude. Anyway.
That's the most Abid thing I've ever heard in my life.
Dude,
Don't
yo,
try.
yo, this is just, yo, you gotta do it, yo. Anyway,
Yeah, I think
so what I really wanted to do this podcast, guys, is it's an interesting question because I was thinking about it and I feel like we've mentioned it a lot, but my goldfish memory tends to forget, which is everyone's first impressions of each other. That's something I like. That's
yeah.
always interesting to me. And the way we're gonna do it is we'll go by each person, and everyone talks about their first impressions of that person. So you guys can start with me, I guess. Or actually, you know what? I'll talk since it'll give you guys time to formulate. Let's start with Aaron. And I'll tell you guys I feel like I've told my first impression of Aaron multiple times, my first account of hanging out with Aaron. Multiple times because I remember it so vividly. And it was one of my first interactions with a person in Malaysia, let alone in a new school, in a new life, and all that. It was just the first time I really had an interaction like that with someone I didn't even say one word to. So Aaron and we've known each other for a decade now, which is kind of crazy to think. Like this September, it'll be a decade.
Really?
And I remember we met because we were in the same class in year 7, so grade 7, and we we basically have known each other since then. And the reason Aaron and I even started talking was because our class teacher put us together. Like, so we were organized according to the register or like roll call, according to roll call. So obviously Aaron and I are sitting next to each other no matter what. AA and then AB. We're kind of like always at the front no matter what. And I was sitting with a friend I had gone to Malaysia with. Like, my friend and I, our families moved to Malaysia together. And I was literally only, like, I only knew him in the class, really. And then basically I was being forced to get to know other people in a way. And I was super introverted at this point in time. Like, I really didn't know how to talk to people. Still don't, but, you know, I was super bad. I was super shy. I didn't really know what to do or how to interact. But the only thing I heard of Aaron up till this point was this mutual friend of ours back then. His name's Daniel Jun. He was like, yo, you're gonna love meeting Aaron, because I had one conversation with this Daniel guy, and he's gonna be like, I can't wait for Aaron to get back. And he kept talking about Aaron. I was like, who's this Aaron kid, man? Like, fucking, yo, Aaron Franklin, who the fuck does this kid think he is? Yo, who the fuck does he think he is? You know, it's like, Aaron and I are sitting next to each other, and our first interaction, no lie, I haven't talked to this kid. He shows up a week late to school, because I think he got back from vacation late. And he shows up a week late. And the first thing he says to me, there's this one kid in our class. God. And the first thing Aaron says is, let's call him Bob. Aaron says, yo, look at this Bob kid. Look at the shape of his head, dude. He looks like a banana. Which is factual to a certain extent. He did have a crescent moon-like head shape. But anyway.
Crescent?
Yeah, he did. This is factual. We can discuss it later. But like, basically, he starts teasing this Bob kid, and I'm like, I don't even know you, but I started laughing, and I'm just dying over there, and he's just roasting this kid. He's like, look at him, dude, he thinks he's all that. He's looking at him, he thinks he's smart. Yo, look at this. He starts throwing paper pellets at him and stuff. And I'm just like, damn, this is funny as hell. So I joined in, and I'm now looking back, yes, we were bullying him, but at the same time, he was kind of annoying, man. Okay, it was teasing, to be honest. It's like school teasing. It wasn't even bullying. It was just straight school teasing.
I mean, he shot back.
He shot back too.
Back.
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
That is
that's
true.
war.
That
That's
is
just
true.
war at that point.
He does shoot back.
He shot back. He started complaining. He started doing all that stuff. Like, he was doing a lot of stuff. I think he was the reason our coordinator had to come to our class like 3 or 4 times just to yell at Aaron. Don't lie. But that was my first impression was this, I don't know who this kid is, but he's funny. And he seems super hyper, which he was. Aaron was super hyper back in the day, like, and also he always has torn pants. That's another. I don't know how, dude. You always had a hole in your shoe and your pants. Bro.
I know how. I was 4.
The pants, though. Where's the hole in the pants?
Like on his, like near the knee.
Amir, stop it.
No, it's not like that. Yeah, facts. It's like his pants are torn near the ankles. Like, there's a hole in his near his knee and stuff like that. It's mostly from running, falling, and tearing it on the tarmac, literally, and stuff like that.
Me too, man.
Yeah, but my first impression is just crazy hyper kid, good vibes, and yeah, that's pretty much it. 10 years down the line, kind of the same, just a lot less hyper. I will say
Without
that.
the bullying.
Without the teasing, yes. Not to the yo, that was pretty fun. That was like, we teased a lot of people. Let's just end it there. Let's just end it there.
Stop right there.
End
Stop
it
right
there.
there, yes.
End it there. All right, go for it. Someone else. Okay, so I will assign who will go next, or Jason, go for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've shared this a couple of times, but I never really met Aaron until year 5 or grade 5, when I was matching the same class with him. So I was late to orientation on the day, and when I walked into class and the teacher was sitting me down, like, go take a seat, meet your new classmates and stuff like that. And I was like, ah, shit, who'd I sit with? Then I see an empty seat at the back of the class, and I saw Aaron. I was like, oh, this kid's pretty familiar. I'll go sit down next to him. And I don't actually recall what I said to him, but from what Aaron told me, uh, from what Aaron told me, the first thing I asked him was, do you like sausages? I don't understand why I asked that, but
Yeah. And then I immediately asked to switch classes. Yes.
so I was like, I don't know, but yeah, but throughout the year, like we were like basically we sat next to each other for throughout the 5th grade, and we were like talking, and he's always the guy who doesn't do his homework. He always get yelled by Miss Fiza. Shout out to Miss Fiza. Um, like every time, like she's the type of teacher who would like throw away like notebooks to the trash can and stuff like that. So when it was when it was sometimes when it was Aaron who doesn't like show with his homework, he's always the one who gets in trouble too. But yeah, generally he's a really like hyper kid as well, and is really friendly, really talkative. And yeah, it's my first impression of him.
Before the next person goes, can I just say, can you guys refrain on talking about how bad of a student I was? My parents are watching this. Thank you.
Okay, you weren't that bad. You just didn't do your homework all the time. You weren't super. Okay. Anyway, Josh, go for it. Josh, go for it.
Fucking good things about me? Jesus Christ, dude.
Dude, we gassed you. We said you were hyper and friendly and nice and good mannered. We could tell you were from a good family. We could tell you were
Yeah.
parented really well.
Lovely parents, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely parents.
We
Yeah.
could
Lovely
Shout out.
parents.
Yeah.
Shout outs, Auntie, by the way. I miss my room. Come by, come back. Alright. Okay, so for Aaron, I've known this kid since like primary. I've always seen him, but we only started talking around like I think primary 5. Right, that's when I got to know him. I know him particularly because of his KFC advertisement. In case y'all didn't know, but now y'all do. And then I hit him up in class one day. I was like, "Hey, bro, was that you in the KFC ad 8 p.m. yesterday at Astro Cherry?" He's like, "Bro, fuck, bro." But yeah, I've always seen him as this really active kid. He's always running around in campus. He always he's eating. You know, it's like
I hate all of you. Like, you have no idea.
Dude, we're just giving our first impressions, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's first impressions, dude.
Yo, you always were eating though, bro. Yo, you never gained weight until way later, and it pissed me the fuck off, dude.
Oh.
It's
Incredible
actually
double
to be honest, he'd lose it all by that lunchtime because he'd be running away from Korean kids and shit, dude.
Yo, the bully got bullied too. That's for real.
Straight up.
I'd always see him getting chased by Koreans. He was either getting like ha ha ha.
Yeah, not in a good way either.
He gets slapped. Facts. And he gets slapped.
Police
or
and
gets
cops,
hit.
bro. Police and cops.
Facts. Yeah. Or cops and robbers. Facts.
Police
yeah.
and cops, nice. Dude.
But yeah, that's how I remember Aaron. He's really active kid. I love being around him because he always brought good vibes. But yeah.
Okay, I don't think Aaron will be embarrassed by mine, so don't worry, Aaron. I got you.
Oh,
Take it
God.
back to year 7, I think, Mandarin class, and everyone in that class was Korean, and I was basically one of the only non-Korean kids there. I sat down to the only non-Korean kid in Mandarin class, and turned out to be Aaron, right? Teacher was not. Teacher was minding her own business, and so what me and Aaron did was we took out a piece of paper and I started drawing like roads, and then we'd use the pencil and like play with it. So how you hold the tip of the pencil with the other tip at the paper, and then you just glide it, and then see who goes the farthest. And we've been doing that the entire class. That was literally my first interaction with Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to make traps and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Remember? That shit was fun.
that was cool. That was cool.
See, wholesome ending, wholesome. It all works out. It all works.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Amir?
Right. That was close. Like, I'll preface this. Like, before I even met you, there's always like a discussion about a discourse around you from Abid and Jude, because I met them first, and I think all of ATS I met you the fourth after Josh. So
Yeah.
before I met you, there's always like you always good at video games. You somewhat a leader, something like that. But when I met you, it's like at a birthday party that we shall not speak. But I always thought you as dependable because you made time for your boys. Because we talked for a bit and like a busy schedule that you had, you still made time for your boys, and I just found that really commendable, and I really respected you from the first day that we met. So that's my first impression of you.
Yo, see, super wholesome ending, dude.
Damn.
See, and you know why he's so you found him so respectable? It's because of, his parenting, dude. His parents did a great job.
Dude,
Shout
my
out to
parents,
Auntie.
honestly, bro. Yo,
Auntie did an
every
amazing
ringgit,
job.
Every ringgit that goes to my allowance, dude, will make me a better person, dude.
This is also kind of factual. Emphasis on kind of. Anyway, you can do me next. I'm next in the alphabetical order, so rip me a new one, boys.
You'll say last.
Who wants to start, dude? Hey,
Okay,
Josh,
go for it,
since- Oh,
Nah,
You
Aaron,
can
go
go
for it.
first.
Go alphabetical, dude.
Yeah, go for it. Aaron.
I. So okay. So Abid, we have similar. I guess like, okay. So me and him first met, as he explained earlier, shooting paper pellets at some other boy in class. So when I sat next to him, my first impression of him was this kid is really, really shy. Like he's very shy. He's just kind of like sitting there. Like that kind of weird kid that giggles in the corner. Like that was Abid. So when I sat next to him,
This is true. This is all true.
This is
I
true.
will
This is
not
true.
deny any of
Factual.
this. This is factual.
and so Abid was like that weird kid that was like sweating and giggling in the corner, right? So when I sat next to him, I was a pretty carefree kid. Like I didn't look at, I didn't look at gender. I didn't look at race. I didn't look at skin color, whatever. I was just like, dude, if you laughed at my jokes, I like you, right? And I'm to a certain extent, I still am like that now. So when I sat next to Abid, I was just kind of. I recall the teacher moving me to sit next to him because I was being noisy in the corner where I was, and then somehow, from my recollection, I was being noisy when I was sitting with my friends in the corner, and the teacher moved me next to Abid because Abid was really quiet, and somehow I made Abid noisy as well. And I got us
This
both
is true, dude.
yeah. And then I got us both in trouble. But I remember it being like, Abid was a really shy kid, but I knew there was a lot more to him. So when I sat down and got to know him, I realized that we had a lot in common. We watched the same Tobuscus videos. We liked the same
Facts.
humor, and we were on that shit. And it was really nice. It was very refreshing, and it was very natural. So, yeah, that was my first impression of you of it.
Dude, I completely forgot about those Tobuscus videos, man. Yo, we hard bonded on that because we were always like singing the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood song.
Oh,
dude.
we would
trailer.
sing it word by word.
Facts.
Yeah. That shit was good.
Alright, go for it, whoever wants to. Amir, go next.
Okay, that's incredible though. Tobuscus, my lord.
Indeed.
Yeah. Back old days.
So to no surprise, I thought Abid was as a quiet and shy person. But with nothing extra to it. I think when we met, we instantly clicked. To preface that, before I met him, I think like this new media of like YouTube or Twitch or Discord, I've only like interacted with people like once, and that's all like the Sidemen or something like that. So when Abid was wearing like an Optic gaming jersey t-shirt for the first time, I was like, "Yo, that's sick, bro! You like esports and shit? You like Optic?" And then we just instantly clicked from there. And the guy is really vastly knowledgeable in a lot of things, and you can actually tell Abid on almost anything, he'll give you a response, which blows my mind to this day. He's, I think that's pretty much it. Shy and very relatable, I guess.
Yo, this
Would be the words.
this fucking gas, yo, I'll take it, man. I appreciate that.
Yo.
Dude. Oh man. All right, go for it, Jason. Try to rip me a new one. Let's see what you
Alright,
say.
Jason, fuck him up.
Honestly, it was like year 8 when I was being introduced to you by someone. And I was like, who the hell is this kid? Like, this kid is just like, really all quiet. His hands is in his pockets and he's like looking down. I'm like, shit, he like me in some ways though. He shy, he quiet. But that was like, I don't remember what I really said to you, but it was during, those break times when you mentioned something about esports as well. So like Call of Duty. So I was like, so I was like, yeah, you watch Call of Duty too, bro? I'm like, he's like, yeah, bro. I'm like, who do you support? And he's like, off the gaming, bro. Like, green wall, hashtag green wall, shit like that. So I was like, this kid, he's a console gamer. He's a console gamer. He plays a lot of Call of Duty, but yeah, I never really talked to him until like year 10. But basically we talk to each other when we play basketball during PE and stuff, and I was like, this guy's pretty chill, like but he barely I barely heard him say anything like throughout 9th or 10th grade until we actually were in the same class together. So yeah, that's my first impression. Was pretty much like the quiet guy into esports, and yeah, that's it.
Alright, yo, the real one, the one who's actually gonna rip me apart, dude. Yeah, go for it, Josh.
First of all, let me just say, this dude. Let me just say, dude. Alright. So when I met Abid, right, prefacing to what I said earlier, when I met him, I walked into class. I looked at him. I was like, it's like, what's up, dude? But he was really quiet back then, as everyone already, but y'all already know that. And he's the type that would just, play guitar. We bonded over music. Avenged Sevenfold to be exact. And I knew this dude loved to play COD, dude. Like, this dude would he had eye bags under eye bags. He'd spend most of the time just playing COD.
This is true.
I remember sleeping over at his place, and this dude, man. But that's what he was really good at. Esports. He was a huge Optic fan. That's pretty much how I know him. And I think we really hit it off at that party. You know which
Shout outs, bro. Of course I remember that shit's meme as fuck.
See, that's where it all started. Before that, we would just kind of see each other in class. We wouldn't really talk. But then after that, dude, bro. Dicks tied, hands in, marriage, dude. That's it. And for the
Pretty much, dude. It was in that elevator that we actually became best friends. No lie. Josh was like, Josh said some shit like, "Yo, bro, you pregnant or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's yours, bro." And there were like a bunch of girls with us in the elevator. All of them, they started shipping us, and I was like, "Yo, this kind of weird, bro. This kind of really weird." I don't even know this boy that well, but I'd bet I vibe with him though.
The man's passed the vibe check, dude, 8 years ago.
Facts.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I know of it. Shoot.
Y'all got landy dandy impressions about Abid, dude. Can't relate, dude. I mean, Abid turned out to be one of my closest friends. Primarily since CPU as well. We went to the same college, but the most memorable first impression I had, because I think we've met a few times, but I don't really recall, except the time when it was a really stressful situation. Because it was the Marigold meeting. I think that's the first time I actually sat down with you and started oh, that's Abid. And I think that's
factual.
the first time. that's the first time Josh, either one of the Marigold guys, so it's either Josh or people who should not be named, introduced me
Got
to
him.
people. Yeah, they introduced me to Abid. But all of y'all were like, "Oh, the faces were down," and I'm like, "What's up?" Because I was a prefect back then. I didn't give a damn about what's going on in America. But they're like, "Oh, the Marigold, which is the school team. The school team teacher, instructor, chose this person as a captain, and it's not deserved." And I think that's a whole other story in itself, right?
Factual.
But
Hey, yo,
yeah,
it's been.
everyone
Let me
was,
just say this. It's been 6 years. I'm still pissed.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say it's it's been, I don't know a good word for that moment, because it was like, oh, you're a cool guy, but damn, you're kind of sad. Sorry, bro. That's my first impression. I'm glad that's not the impression that kept on.
What you mean, dude? I'm still sad. Anyway. Oh, yo, I'm gonna listen to Amir's first impression of me on repeat every night. Every time at 3 a.m. I'm feeling down, dude. Just listen to Amir, gas myself up, and win some shit. You know what I'm saying?
What have you done, Amir? What have you done?
Dude, he's giving me motivation, bro. Yo. Anyway.
Shoot me a text and I'll record my dad saying something about you.
Thank you. That sounds. Yeah, get both. Yin and yang. Let's do Amir, man. Let's just do Amir's fucking first impression. Yo, first impression of Amir, dude. Yo, man's was quiet. That's what I remember. He was super quiet, and he basically, I only, as Jude just said, we went to CPU together, which was our college time, and we met this other dude during orientation that I literally told Jude I hope he's not in the same class as us. Ended up being in the same class as us. And I met Amir first day of class, which was English. We all took English first semester. And basically Amir was just sitting by himself in front of the teacher's table. And this dude who I didn't want to be in the same class with dragged me and Jude to sit with him at the same table. So there were 4 chairs and Amir was sitting in one already. And the 3 of us sat down at the same table. And this dude's just saying random shit the entire time. He talks a lot. And I was kind of firing back at him, which Amir was giggling like shit out. Like, he was laughing, and I was like, damn, yo, this guy's chill. I like this guy. And over the course of a couple days, we just got to know each other. I think everyone in that class basically got to know each other. And Amir got to know me and Jude, and then we just kind of stuck it together from then on. And yeah, that was pretty much our first interaction, first impression too. Amir was just quiet and stuff, and then eventually I found out we have a lot in common, going from music to esports to what Amir said about me being able to talk about just about anything. I think Amir can do the same, where we're both super street smart, as he wanted to say. But yeah, that was for me. Let's do Jude first, and then we'll do the rest of the boys, because ours would be a little lengthier.
I'm sorry, who are we commenting on right now?
Amir.
Amir. Oh yes, I've been waiting for Amir, dude. Because I think we had the same first impression, me and Abid, because technically we came at the same time. We thought the same things, and the things that we were not thinking, we were talking about it after like an event happened, right? So it's all good. But one thing about Amir is, so we created like a small mini group within the close friends that we found in the first class, and Amir was not in that. Or there are reasons to that, and then very good reasons. But so it was kind of interesting, like the friendship pathway that me and Amir took versus the rest of that group, that said group, because it was kind of separate. Amir only integrated with us later on, but that led to some interesting things, because other than Abid, because I've already opened up to Abid from Safe All Days, Amir was the first person to actually have a close heart-to-heart conversation with, and that's those are the cues that you find when those are the cues that you get for a good friendship, and that's why I feel like it blossomed naturally thereafter because I was able to open up once he did that. So yeah.
I'm kind of
I'm done.
speechless.
Ding.
I'm kind of speechless.
Same, to be
Oh.
honest. That was interesting. Listening. Oh, dude, I can't laugh. Can't help but laugh, dude. That's good. Oh, that's funny. Anyway,
Anyway,
we'll do Josh and then Jason because Jason hasn't met Amir yet. Go for it, Josh.
True. Okay. If I got this chronologically correct, I think I met during Raya at your place. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
So that means it was during your grad?
It was probably grad, yeah, during CPU.
Grad first.
Sometime at CPU.
Grad
during
first.
CPU.
Yeah. So but I think when I actually got to formally like talk to him and sit down was during your place at Raya. Because that's the one that sticks out to me the most.
He wasn't there at Raya.
And he wasn't?
No.
Oh shit. Yo, I was thinking of Yo, yeah, you're right. My bad. When I first met Amir, right? He gave off the very like as you mentioned earlier, he had a lot of hobbies. And the type where if can't really expensive hobbies. So when I got to talk to him, right, the more we talked, we had a lot of interests in common. Anime, that's one of them. Designer shoes, or just in fashion in general. Comics, he's huge into comics. Games, pretty much like very similar to what most of us are into. And I know that he's a huge cinephile. And when I got to talk to him more, he has like a lot of knowledge on a lot of things. So it's really fun to be around him, especially like when we have like conversations about like shoes. That's always the go-to for us, or catching up on new animes. So yeah, that's I love when I first met him. It was really chill because he passed the vibe check straight up. Even music taste, amazing.
Josh Pina has to dip for class with Cap. Um,
Nah, I'm good.
right.
Appreciate you, sir.
Jason.
First time I met Amir was when Abid, Jude, and I picked you up at your place.
Yes.
At 4 a.m.
At 4 a.m. I am going McD hunt. I was like, I don't know what to expect from this guy. So he hopped in the car, and I realized he was just a talkative person. Like, wow, I was like, dang, he's really an extrovert. And I was like, I don't know, I don't really remember what we talked about, but I remember one of our first conversations was about our love for Manchester United. Easy. And yeah, I didn't really click with him until we had a group chat, and then we talked about like movies, and we realized that we have so much interest in movies as well. I'm like, this guy knows a lot too. Like, I was like, holy shit! Like, this guy knows like the directors and stuff. He knows he knows his films. Like, we watch a lot of films and we talked about it. And I was like, this guy's pretty chill. And yeah, like what Josh said, he knows a lot of things. He has like knowledge of so many different topics, like shoes, movies, football, and anime and stuff like that. It's crazy. So I was like, man, this guy knows his stuff. So we click a lot on many things. Oh, chance? I guess, yeah. Um, I guess, yeah. I did wear the 3 cap, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. I think Amir is one of the guys that I can really talk to easily in terms of what we. Yeah, he knows a lot of his stuff. and it was really easy to click with Amir. And I hope to see him soon again, for sure.
Bet. I actually completely forgot about that. The McDonald's night. Yo, shout outs to myself. Cause Jude and Jason fell asleep. Shout outs Amir actually. Thank God he fucking came down, dude. I would have been so sad if I had to drive myself home with you two sleeping in my backseat, dude.
Wait, Nani? What
Uber
was this?
Uber driver at
Oh,
the
you mean the? Oh, I
yeah,
remember.
the I'm
Good
going
sleep,
hunt.
best sleep, no regrets.
The only person that got a fried chicken is Jude, right? Because
Yeah,
they
because
ran
there
out.
was like one chicken wing, and we were like, "Who wants it?" And Jude's like, "I'll fucking take it, dude." And Jude just takes it and starts eating, and we're like, "I bet Jason and I are getting a fucking breakfast sandwich." I guess.
Dude, that's the right. I woke up and like, wait, where am I doing? Best sleep, dude.
Jude
Yeah.
didn't even hesitate.
Bro, yeah, he didn't even hesitate. He just took the chicken, bro. We're like, okay, I guess he's eating it.
I'm like, oh damn.
I remember
Get
dude,
breakfast.
Jude woke up. We were at a new McDonald's, and Amir was in the car. Jude was so confused for a while, dude. He was like, "What is going on?" Anyway, yo, the big boy, the big little boy, kappa. Josh did, of course. Dude, okay. My first impression of Josh is he was that super talkative, friendly kid. This is kind of going back to what we did in the second podcast, but he was a super talkative, friendly kid, and I just remember Josh and I fucking. I saw the first time I saw him was actually not even at school. It was outside of school. It was at the McDonald's at Ampang Park, and Josh was there because it was one of someone's birthday, and he was attending that person's birthday. He looked at me, I looked at him. We gave each other a death stare, and we just did the head tilt thing, like the head tilt up, and like, like, what's up, huh? And we did that, and then that's it. That was my first interaction, and my first impression was, yo, this guy's kind of an asshole, but I vibe with him. And then I got to know him better over the next year or so, and yeah, kind of married ever since.
I actually don't remember that incident, but yeah, facts.
Dude,
Factual.
I wouldn't remember it if my mom didn't go, "Who the hell was that, dude?" Like, who was that? I was just like, some dude from school. It's like, what's his name? I
Shout
don't.
out to
I literally said I don't know because I didn't know your name at the time. I just knew you as that dude from school.
Filipino boy.
Yeah. Let's do let's do Jason, Jude super quick, and then Amir.
Yeah. Basically, I met Josh in what year? Again, one of my first friends at Safewell, and when I met him, he was like quite hyper too, very talkative, and all I knew was that this dude loved to play basketball, and
Facts.
Speaking in robot, yes. Jason, just repeat
Uh-oh.
what you said.
He is the most extra basketball player I know, and yeah, I think he's very friendly as when I get to talk to him more, and he always talks shit about me, and we have this like thing going on between us when we just talk trash to each other. But yeah, that's how our that's how we vibe. But yeah, he's really talkative and very extra basketball player. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Dude, just do a quick diaper recap, and then we'll
Alright.
go to Amir, dude.
Yeah, Josh is my god brother. I think that's all we need to know. I mean, literally, he is my god brother. So, sad, dude. I mean, we're vibing, but also like sometimes I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? But at other times I'm like, yo, this man. Yeah.
Yo,
First
true.
impression, and I think he's one of the few people whose first impressions I've had still continue to this day, which is like, yo, he's a cool dude, but like, damn, bro, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Huh?
Damn, that's
Wait, what?
crazy, bro.
That's great.
Yo, bro, Ken say, damn, bro, you guys are god brothers, bro. Oh, bro, religion, bro. Probably gonna cut that
Don't
out.
do that, dude. Okay.
Dude, editing this gonna be so much fun. Anyway, Amir, go for it.
Okay. I didn't know that, by the way. That was crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Josh, first impression was he was very vibrant and very high spirited. Again, I have to preface it on time with Abid and Jude. Back when those two were in CPU, like we would have run-ins with like C4 people and the sorts and sort. So it was a fun time for those two, mostly, except for when they met probably like Jindan or Vibov. But when they met
Whoa,
Josh,
bro.
it was like a different energy. Like when Josh came
Oh my
and
god.
vibe with those two, it was like their spirits went immediately higher, and you could just tell the guy is very high spirited. And when I talked to him for the first time, it's like he's very easygoing to talk to, and over time we talk about fashion, like he said, very geeky type things as well, like anime and comic books, but mostly on mostly life aspects as well. He's very stimulating to talk to, I guess. He gives a lot of substance to any arguments that we would put out and stuff. So yeah, that's my first impression.
Damn. Crazy. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Moving
May I
on.
just say,
Mhm.
sorry. Fuck you, Jason. Okay, you trash a ball. Never come at me again. Bro, you ran away half court. Can't shoot for shit. Alright.
One v one on, bro. Shut the fuck
Jason
up.
podcast. is
I
going.
will
Please
beat you in
refrain
a
from
one
talking.
v one.
Jason.
Nah, I'm still taking Josh on that, dude. If he doesn't pop a lung the first 5 minutes, I think Josh wins, dude.
Next.
Yeah, I know you.
The thing is, if he pops a lung though, you win. Like that's pretty straightforward. Anyway, Amir, give us your first. Since let's not waste any more time on first impressions because we spent a lot of the second podcast doing ATS impressions. Amir, just give us your quick impressions on Jason and Jude, and then we'll move along.
Jason, dork. There's a Turkish word for it called Safirun, which means he's like somewhat pure of heart, but is easily fooled. And I think that's like my instantly first impression of him. He's just a kind-hearted person as well. When I first met him, yeah. A dork, basically, yeah. So Jude, I think flex.
Like my voice went up as soon as you saw me. Hey, Jude.
Jude, yeah, flex. Basically, he was wearing very tight clothes at the time, and he was.
What do you mean at the time, dude?
You're right. You're right.
Damn,
Still
bro.
was, but not as tight before because he was.
Okay. Okay, so when I first saw Amir, I don't know how else to say this, but he's like I saw him as like a really thick textbook. Like there's a lot to him that I didn't know, and I felt like he was there was a lot to him that at the time I feel like I didn't like know a fraction of. So when I first saw him, I felt like I really want to get to know this person, and I really want to get close to this person. And he also seemed very smart. Like I don't know, when I looked at him, he just gives me this, like, I just feel like he's very smart. Like he knows a lot, or he knows a lot more than he lets off, or he's very humble in that sense. And yeah, I mean, as simple as it is, not that long. But yeah, that was my first thought when I saw Amir. So yeah.
Perfect. Time to edit that in. Anyway. So as we were saying, Amir, I mean, as we kind of mentioned, not even we, Amir mentioned, Amir met me and Jude first back in CPU. And we just kind of built our friendship from there. What's interesting is I agree with the sentiment to what Jude was saying with Amir, and our relationship didn't really evolve that much. We were just classmates who still kind of talked out of class, but then at one point we just got a lot closer. I'm glad it did, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, I'm gonna try and transition.
Yeah.
Hold up. It was super interesting. It's super interesting to see how far all these relationships have come and what we have built from these relationships. Like ATS was built off of individual relationships with multiple people, which just somehow combined into one. And basically, what I'm transitioning this into is the extended version of ATS, which we call Sadbois, which Amir is very much a member and part of.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be, of course. Everyone is, I'm sure. Cap. Let's talk about Sadbois. So, like, Sadbois, I feel like, when did that happen? I don't even remember when it happened. I'm the creator of it, and I don't know when it happened. I feel like it happened 2018 summer, I believe, right? That was probably the first time Sadbois hung out and did something together. So, I think Sadbois really formed in the summer of 2018, or like we got together then. Before that, I have no idea. Wait, you know what? Let me check the WhatsApp group right now. Let's find out exactly when. Created May 29, 2018, so I was right. It's basically before we did that trip to Port Dixon and everything. That, again, your boy organized. Shout out to myself. But yeah, this group was really interesting because, I mean, I'm not gonna take all the credit, but I did act as the major connector between what ATS was and these three new people, bringing them in and making what Sadbois is. And I remember having this conversation with Jude after Sadbois became a team. He was like, "Why did you do it? Because that's interesting to me, combining your friend groups and stuff." And I was like, I felt like it would work, and people would just bounce off each other, and it would be an interesting dynamic and stuff. So I lost my train of thought. Amir, damn. This funny, you facts. But basically, we just got together because we all have similar interests and we like the same things, and honestly, the fundamental thing with this group was that we're all gamers at heart, and we just love games, and we talk about games a lot, and we like food, and yeah, that was really the connection there. Fundamentals indeed. I always had this group of Sadbois in mind post CPU, or like towards the end of CPU itself, because I felt like CPU was a great time and I met a lot of people there and stuff. But you know, a thought that occurred to me in the last 3 months of CPU was really, what are the friendships that I'm 100% taking away from here and I want to take away from here? And one of them was definitely Amir. One of them was Ben, because there were bigger plans, but you know, sometimes things don't go according to plan. And one of them was Zoe, because Zoe was always around in my life, and I just thought she would add a different dynamic to the group if we all met up. But yeah, Sadbois was super interesting. I'm just sorry.
The messiest podcast we've ever recorded.
Oh my god.
Mid topic, we just all break into
This is
laughter.
the wildest podcast so far, man. Holy shit.
Whew, okay,
Oh,
let me reconnect myself. Recollect. Anyway. So, Sadbois really, for me, was just getting a group together for the summer I was about to have, because it was my first summer back since you. It was my first summer back. Actually, all of our first summers back from uni, really. Um, besides Jason, rip Jason, but we, it was our first summer back for everyone, and we all experienced this year away essentially. Well, not away geographically for some, and just in a different way for a lot of new people. We just lived a year of this new chapter for us. We had just essentially finished the first year of 4+ years of what college life is supposed to be. So it was a way for us to regroup almost, and just catch up, share our new experiences, and talk about our old ones too. And for me, the group was just created for doing that, and also on top creating new memories for that summer that would last forever. Which, I mean, the memories we did create, they were amazing, and they will stick with me forever. Um, the biggest thing we did as a group was that Port Dixon trip. That was crazy to begin with. We took my Fortuner, and we left at like what 7 a.m. or something, and we all met up at Aaron's house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all met up at Aaron's house. Everyone left their cars there. We took the Fortuner, which is basically a fucking 7-seater. Everyone got into one car, and we went to Port Dixon, which was like an hour and a half away. Hour, yeah, right. Roughly an hour plus.
About an hour.
Yeah,
Roughly.
about an hour away, which was where the beach was. We went to the beach, took a bunch of photos. We just hung out for a while there. And then we went to the infamous Putrajaya spot we always talk about, the McDonald's. Had a good time there. Then we basically just spent the entire day doing things we'd always talk about doing but never got around to. And we did as a group. We always talked about doing those things as in individual relationships or as a group or whatever, but we literally just never did it. So I was very about, let's actually do it, have a good time, and remember this forever. Because everyone was under the impression that, which was an accurate impression now looking back, that not everyone would be back in the way we were for a long time, because we were all guaranteed that one summer together for sure. After that, like, who would come back in December, who would come back by December, I mean winter break, or who'd come back in the summer, who'd be where, we never really knew. But that one summer for sure, we all knew we were free and that we were going to hang out and just have a good time. So yeah, that for me, it was just creating more vibes with people I love, and that's where the group came from. But I mean, the group's very interesting, the dynamics are interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I just want to get your guys' takes on Sadbois and everything. Yeah, if you have your, go ahead.
Okay, I guess we can go into it a bit. I would say Sadbois is a very interesting group because I think when that summer, I think all of us, dude, we were on some other shit that summer, honestly. And I guess for a certain amount of time, for me, it really felt like I didn't have to worry about anything, like at all. That summer, that group, like, it's all intertwined. And, when it happened, it was just so, like Abid said, it's a time that I'll remember, for the rest of my life, hopefully. Because it was a time when I didn't have to worry about anything. And not to say that we didn't have our own issues going on at the time, we did, but just the energy of the group, just how hyped we all were just to chill and meet each other and just hang out, kind of just brought us away from the worries that we had from the normal day and put us into almost like a paradise world, which was Putrajaya, which was just sitting in a car, talking, singing songs, sleeping, eating, all of that. And I think the group really did, help me. Almost, it acted as almost a distraction for the shit I was going through during that time, and it definitely did help me get through a lot of things. And it did feel almost like I wouldn't say a second home because ATS would be my second home. Actually, ATS is my home, but I would say it almost showed me that you can continue to open yourself up to people in the world, and there are like-minded people like you that you can vibe with. So it definitely did help me get through a lot of stuff. So yeah, that is all I'll say.
So Sadbois, this was, I think this took into effect immediately after their graduation. I mean, by them I mean Abid, Amir, Jude, Ben, and Zoe's, because they all were in the same college. So it didn't really. It's sort of just like, next thing I knew, Abid put us all in a group. I was like, oh, what's this? Like, hey, I remember you. Like, you're Amir, you're Ben, you're Zoe, and that was kind of like the the summer that we all went out together for Port Dixon. I think that was really like the start of most of it, because that's when we really got like time to bond with each other, to spend time with each other, and to get to know each other. Because we were out for like what, a whole 24 hours, and it was crazy thinking about it. Um, the group dynamics are always very interesting. Uh, everybody's thought process, the way they view the world, they overlap, or sometimes they interject each other. So there's a lot of things that you can learn from them as well. I personally learned a lot from each other. So yeah, that's my take on Sadbois.
All right, who's next?
Who's next? I just put a quick word out there because the group that Abid created, like for Sad Boys, was an intertwine of like friend groups that we had. And I say we because I literally had the same groups as he did when during CFU days. So yeah, it was interesting, and Abid was right in saying that when talking about it with me. Not only was it an interesting dynamic, it was just quite bizarre at first because you don't really imagine them interacting, but the intention was right, and it worked out really well.
Let's do yours for a little bit, even though it's yeah, and then we'll do Amir's.
Um, Personally, I think out of this, like Sad Boys is a great like what Aaron says, it's great to open up to more people, and it's good like we're meeting like two different groups. But yeah, I've out of the Sad Boys, I've only met Amir, I think, and I've only met Ben once. Never really spoken to him, and I've never met Zoe. So it's kind of something I'm looking forward to as well whenever the time happens. You know, when um Sad Boys come together, when we're all in the same place at one time. I would love to get to know the other three for sure a lot better, and yeah, looking forward to that time.
All right, Amir, the floor is yours.
Well, can you just repeat the topic again of it, just to clarify?
Just your initial thoughts on what Sad Boys is. Yeah.
Sure. Well, since we refer back to Port Dixon a lot, I think there are some moments that become timeless in our memories, and those times are where you remember what's most important to you. And I think that's our first interaction all together as one, as a group, and it was really special, especially when it came at a time where all of us were, I would say, frustrated in this in part of the crossroads in our lives. So that moment in our lives was very um was was a stable period for us to have a level-headed measure of our lives while just not thinking about life at the same time, as the other people already alluded to. But um, I treasure these guys a lot, 100%. Um, when you vibe with people when you vibe with people in general, y- they become the very treasures that you always cherish going forward. So every time there's either a conversation or a chat with each other, I think it's a special time. So I can't gauge on the present form of Sadbois right now, but what I'll know is that in the future, if we ever get to meet up as one, like again, I feel as though we'll come back to that space at that moment of time, and it will be timeless again, and become another memory that we can cherish for the future going forward.
I agree with that. That is true. Um,
Yeah, I mean, just from like a outside person looking in, when like Jude, like, just just the interactions, like let's say the small groups and set boys, Ben, Abid, Jude, Ben, Josh, Aaron, Zoe, Abid, me, Zoe, Josh, me in some moments. It's
Yeah.
as it seems very natural, and I don't know, it seems kind of amazing.
I do agree with that.
Agree.
There's some natural chemistry
Agree.
there that it's hard to
For
find
sure.
with other people. Everyone just bounces off of each other super
Yeah.
well, regardless of their differences. Um,
I mean,
I
you
think those
can't
memories
fake.
will
You can't
live.
fake this kind of. You can't
exactly. You
fake this
can't
kind
fake this kind of stuff.
of. Yeah.
Memories may fade, like,
True.
but I think
Yeah, facts.
we still think that those memories that we've had, they won't age for sure.
True. So
Definitely
yeah,
very fond. Yeah.
hmm yeah. I mean, pretty much, Sad Boys. It's also interesting that we named ourselves Sad Boys, by the way, because we named ourselves Sad Boys before it became the biggest thing in the world. It was already kind of a thing, but it didn't get as much traction. I just want to say we're trendsetters. Anyway, now that was a plug I was going for.
We were ahead
Um,
of the game. We were ahead
we
of the
were
game.
really
Facts.
ahead of the game, but
Legacy.
you know that summer was interesting. I feel like unfortunately Jason couldn't be there, and if he was, I feel like that summer would have been way crazier than it already was, kind of. And it's super interesting to think about, um, because most of my friendships with like ATS, they're almost towards a decade now. And my friendships with the CPU people, they're about to reach half a decade, which is mind blowing to me because time flies like crazy, and to think that I took this big ass leap this early. I don't know if I would do the same thing now, like integrating two groups of my friends. But then again, I guess you learn and you live. I don't know where I was going with that, but Sad Boys is an interesting group. I don't think it'll disappear as that easy, and I hope it doesn't. But let's talk about something that's a little more current, some current events, if you will. And that's COVID, man. COVID's still around. Not much has changed in the month that we've started doing
True.
this podcast. But one thing that did change is that when we just started the podcast, everything was reopening, and I feel like now everything's starting to somewhat close back down again, depending on location, obviously. But COVID and like Hong Kong just recently shut down, right? Because they went up to 220 cases in a day or something. And they were like,
Yeah, some
what?
crazy number.
Korea yesterday, South Korea just went up to like 110 cases. Like they just
I mean,
spiked.
that's crazy.
Yeah, like really, it just proves how dangerous this virus is and how much people are taking it for granted that they won't get sick or something. Because as I've mentioned multiple times on this podcast, like I feel like people are taking things a little too easy, as if we aren't even in the middle of a pandemic right now. And these cases and these jumps are just gonna keep going up, and until everyone has to basically be stuck at home again. So I mean, in Canada, I think we were planning on going to stage 3, but we pushed back the date to go to stage 3, and we're still in stage 2. So stage 3 would be everything's pretty much open. And right now it's like a few restaurants and the mall, like mall, but limited hours and social distancing and everything, of course. But since we quote unquote opened up more, cases did rise again. We were getting like 60 cases a day maybe, and now we're up like to like 200 a day again, which is kind of, it's worrisome. And I understand people wanna somewhat what's the word I'm looking for, relinquish the summer, or like take the summer back a bit in their control and make it better. But man, like, just survive, bro. Like, just wait till it's all blown over, to be honest. Just play it safe and wait till everything's blown over, and then we can finally start going back to what normal was, I guess. So yeah, we can talk about the US, and 3 of you are in Malaysia, 2 of you are in the US, so we'll have very interesting talks about the US, but yeah. Let's do Malaysia first, because there's less to unpack there.
Alright, I'll just say my part first. So Malaysia's, from what I know, yeah, it's kind of, the cases are kind of slowly increasing, which is a bit worrying. So over the past week, we've gone from single digits to double digits to upper double digits. So, yesterday we had 13 cases, which seems alright, but the day before we had 21. And the problem is we're having local cases. So we're having a lot of local cases. And a lot of people are worried that people are getting too complacent, not wearing masks, being too relaxed as usual, which is attributes to the high amount of cases. And one other big problem that's happening that I've noticed is a lot of people that should be quarantined don't want to be quarantined. I've been seeing a lot of signs lately and messages and posters of, if you see someone with a the stay-at-home ban thing, if you see someone with a band, the tag, if you see someone with a tag out in public, please report it to the police. And they wouldn't be putting signs up this in malls and stuff if this wasn't happening at an alarming rate. People are going out, people refuse to stay at home, and I think it's just, all of this has attributed to the fear that there is going to be a second wave in Malaysia, because we haven't really had a proper second wave yet. So things are a bit on edge. People are a bit worried. Hopefully things are, stabilized, but yeah. That would be my piece on Malaysia, at least.
So Amir and Josh, how about you guys? It's similar takes as Aaron.
Josh, wanna go first?
Nice, bro.
I can go first, sure.
Go for it.
I think, like, from Malaysia's standpoint, I think we just think the health director general just tweeted out that the cloth mask, the casual cloth mask that's not the blue mask or the N94 mask is not suitable for this pandemic, which is quite interesting at this late of a stage. So I hope they were right. I hope they're right on that, because apparently that's the common like denominator for why a lot of people are getting infected. But to add on Aaron's point, I agree completely. There's no chance that they should go out unless you're alone in life, basically. Like, you have no one to that can attend to you, that can get your supplies or food, for example. And other than that, it's just very selfish. You have You're impacting everyone. You're putting people in danger. You're also just basically affecting the economy in general, because if we get a second wave of this virus, then who knows where we're going to go after this.
Bro, facts. Like, the world economy is already tanked, and it's only gonna get worse if we just keep going up. I mean, we'll get into U.S. later, but like, it's a trend everywhere. I mean, there's countries that are being quote unquote said, oh, they're doing amazing, which, I mean, Canada's on there, haha. Not to toot my own horn, but at a point they're gonna run out of money to give to the people, dude. What's gonna happen then? The country's already on the brink of collapse. The U.S. is in mad debt since forever. And I feel like people just aren't taking it as seriously anymore, because there was like a moment of normality in the mix.
People just become complacent, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. It's because everyone just wants to get back to quote unquote normal again. And I understand it too. I wish I could be driving around right now and not be stuck at home. Going to my friends' houses and stuff, but like, I'm staying at home because I wanna stay alive and not risk anything for myself, my family, and even others. Like, because if I contract it, I'll give it to my family, and who knows where it'll go from there, right? It's kind of crazy. I agree with you on the selfish point. There's too many services and stuff out there now for you to even use an excuse saying, "Oh, I need this or that." Like, you absolutely need something, because there's too many delivery services, honestly, worldwide. And if you absolutely can't use that thing, then I understand, as Amir said. But I feel like those cases should be in the minority and not the majority. Anyway, Josh, you can go for it.
Was reading the news earlier, and there has been 30 new cases this week, and then the first death has been recorded after a few weeks. So it's Corona's definitely making a comeback, the comeback we don't want. And what's more unsettling is, I was scrolling through Twitter a few days ago, and there's been images circulating around of people who were supposed to be quarantined. As Aaron mentioned, they had the pink tags on them. They were out eating at mamaks. So for those who don't know what mamaks are, they're basically like small bistros and restaurants. They were buying groceries in the supermarket. So this is all really, it's like some people really don't have they just really don't give a fuck about their environment or the people around them. And the fact that they're just walking around with these tags knowing well that they've been quarantined and they're supposed to be quarantined is just irresponsible. And the fact that the Malaysian government had to remind the people that, hello, there's still a COVID, and that they're putting into effect on the August 1st, if I'm not mistaken, the masks. They're making it a compulsory thing. I feel like it should have been a compulsory thing long before then, until we've actually had 0 cases. So, but the fact that they're just now reminding the people again that it's compulsory speaks a lot. So, and I went out a few times in the past week for groceries, and there's so many people outside. There's a lot. So it's really unsettling. So let's just hope that there isn't a second. I mean, it's inevitable, but let's just hope that it doesn't.
All right, let's get into the fun one then, which is the United States of America. Da 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 da. Yo, we've all been in the 3 digits, boys. We haven't gone beyond the 3 digits yet. Jude, hit us with the latest numbers.
The latest numbers. Oh dear, I don't have them right now with me.
No, but like latest numbers from your last recollection, you know.
Oh, it's still 4 digits. In LA County, particularly, not even in the US, just around here, 'cause that's what we have to look out for. Right? I mean, New York's doing pretty well, but the curve is not currently dripping down, which is what we want to see. Like other countries are worried about a second outbreak, we're worried about dealing with the first. And I would like to share the mentality that currently enshrines not most, but a substantial portion of people here in America. People understand that these are unusual times, difficult times, in fact. And yet there are myriad of responses to this. So one very intriguing, controversial response is people who attempt to cope with the severity of the situation by attempting to enact a normal-like scenario. People do this with the intention of making their lives feel better, but unknowingly make their lives more susceptible to further misjudgments. So it's a lot of words. I'll give an example of this. I'll give a succinct yet personal response example of this. So there are currently plans for Congress to send universal bailouts, which have already happened once to the American people, yet they are noticeably hesitant to do so. And why is that? Other than the clear factor of limited financial resources, which surely a lot of the countries here share, another super important factor is the efficacy and the effectiveness of these bailouts. It is a humane response, to send bailout, to send financial aid. Why not send it out as soon as possible? Many put it similar to a jolted attempt to make lives better. But the thing is, it's a precarious situation we're in right now. And not only do we have limited money, but people aren't spending that money. People are trying to save up for themselves, and it's just not circulating as smoothly as it should be, which, I mean, economy is not the most important thing right now, but when it does go down, it does go pretty bad, as we all know in 2008, right? I'm personally affected by this because I'm running out of coins, quarters, and I need that for my laundry. That's just the tipping point. And once you run out of basic, not basic necessities, but basic things that keep the economy functioning, the entire system will crash down. And you can see that right now. Like, banks without coins is pretty bad. Not only for my situation, this is just laundry, right? But what about others who actually depend on coins for their livelihoods, right? So, yeah, that's one example of the American idea that people have here, but how it's backfiring pretty badly. Ding.
Infamous
I love how
ding.
to give a.
No, it's like America's just fucked, man. Like that's basically what Jude just said in a very intellectual, very upfront way.
Are people still gonna get evicted, Jude? I'm not really aware right now on the situation about that.
What's up?
Are people gonna get evicted soon, as they ran out with bailouts and etc.? Was there
There's surely going to be one coming, as I think Albert alluded to with Canada, right? You need to have financial support, but there's only so much you can do as a government. And we can't talk about government here, but without discussing Trump. That's another podcast, though. So
This is true. This is true.
please watch
But-
episode 1.
That's next week, bro.
Yeah, episode 1
yeah.
is kind of the start, but that's a different
Yeah.
whole ass topic. But yeah, I mean, Jason, if you will have anything to say, because you're in the U.S.
Well, I'm in Virginia to be specific,
Bless you.
and it's getting okay. it's surprisingly a lot better here, but until I read the news um earlier today when I was watching Fox News, and
Best news source.
we added another 958 cases and 3 deaths um as of yesterday. Um, we're in phase 3 right now, and it's kind of worrying because phase 4 is gonna, as far as I know, phase 4 is gonna be where everything is gonna be back to normal and theaters are gonna be reopening again. But again, AMC, the one of the theater chains here, just issued like that they won't be reopening till like September, which because of film companies are deciding to take um movies away and postponing it to a unconfirmed date, but that's not the main point. But yeah, but Virginia, it's kind of worrisome because people. I went out for groceries. I don't go out too much now, but like I still see people without masks, and it's kind of shitty because it's they don't really care about other people. They don't, and they always feel like they always say stupid shit like, "Oh, I don't want to wear my mask, because like I don't have to," and stuff like that. It's just really, really ignorant. They're being really, really ignorant. And but as of right now, the state, at least around my county, we're doing fine. The cases has dropped a lot, and everyone's safely like following the guidelines and everything. But it's still kind of bad because the I think the governor of Virginia announced today that if we don't see the number of cases dropping within the next few weeks, and we'll have to push back, probably go back to phase 2, or probably issuing stay home orders again. But yeah, that's my input so far.
I mean, that's
I have
what
a
they
question
should
for
be
you.
doing, bro. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Has the federal government and your state government relationship improved? Like since what this is stage 3 right now, right? In Virginia,
Yeah,
has has the communique been like better over time, or is it still pretty
it's
messy?
it's a little messy because I don't know, man, because like every time I see the news, right,
Yeah.
it's more of just fucking, the president, just Trump, just saying things like, oh, he's just saying ignorant stuff. He doesn't really care about the issue, which is kind of fucked up. And more so, he's just more focused on his campaign, which is pretty stupid in my opinion. He's not seeing what's going on. And yeah, at this point, I think um, we're really in a like what I would say, America's just so fucked right now,
Okay. Yeah.
and it's yeah, it's just really fucked. All right, we could keep going.
Okay. What I really want to discuss is the states in the U.S. operate so differently, and they have like state power is quite substantial in the U.S. I'd say,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Yep,
Why
yep,
are
I agree.
these fucking state leaders not doing anything? Like,
Dude.
they're doing the bare minimum, being like, "Yo, we're amazing. Yo, get on our level, dog." And it's like, bro, okay, I understand what you what you were saying, Aaron, with the dude. Like, I understood that 100% because it's America. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, sure, Trump may not have a brain. You should kind of have a brain, dog. Just look, because Trump isn't living in Florida. Trump isn't living in LA right now. He's in the fucking White House. He's chilling, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you're living in that state. You're staying in the city. You're seeing you're in charge of those people, and it's really frustrating because at the end of the day, politicians are just there for obviously the politics, but that's it. It's not for the
yeah.
people. It's not about the people, which is super frustrating. And that's a
I
whole
just want to say like
different
two
podcast.
things really quickly to that. Yeah. First thing is that's for a whole different podcast because that's a very interesting topic. Second thing, as much as I think like since we're on the topic of Trump, right? As much as I think Trump is he's an idiot in my opinion. Not dumb enough. He's pretty smart in the sense that he got his position, but I think at core he's an idiot. But Trump is a representation of a large majority of American people. I feel he is a representation of what they want, the policies they want, what they want to do. Maybe less so now, now that a lot of people are now quote unquote woke. People that voted for him that don't want to vote for him anymore. But I think similarly, all these head of states, like mayors and the leaders of the states that they're from, all of these people are also representations of the majority of American people in those states. For example, the mayor of Texas, is also an idiot in my opinion. But that is also because a large majority of people living in Texas have that same view. They all, that person has to be in power for a reason. They're voted into power. So as much as I think I agree with the sentiment that, why are these people not doing anything? I understand if Trump's not doing anything, but what about these people? I think these people, some of them are as bad, if not worse, because they are a representation of the people that are voting for them. So that's all I want to say on the topic. But yeah.
Cool.
I agree. It's a fundamental problem. It's literally the bottom is completely fucked. The foundation is fucked. So you
Yeah.
can't expect the house to be that nice.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I object to that actually. Like, I actually think California's governor, Gavin Newsom, and Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti is doing pretty well. We have free COVID tests drive-through, although the wait is 2 hours. It's understandable given the population is crazy. And to speak for California, Gavin Newsom had a plan ever since May, if I'm correct, regarding how to counter the amount of cases in California. And that's why we were doing relatively well until the plan backfired. Because when you follow the plan, you think that the curve would go smoothly in other places, but the other places just didn't budge, right? So, and also to the thing where it's not only California, Texas's governor is actually doing pretty well. Because I like to give, like, not a shout out, but I like to give credit where it's due. There are Republican governors who are going against their initial reactions and turning towards more safe approaches towards COVID-19. Like Greg Abbott from Texas is another example of a governor who's like, oh, I understand that I was doing wrong. I understand I was doing wrong, and I know it's genuine if they're not running for election next year, right? And they do that. That means they truly believe that something's up. So the thing that I would point out is the reason why, like, it's really hard to sway opinions. I add to Abid and Aaron's fact that Americans already have like an opinion themselves, but a system of government is just really hard. There's too much bureaucracy to continue with things here. Even though you have a powerful message, I mean, Sanders is an amazing example, right? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you support, even if you're not a left wing, like why wouldn't you support universal healthcare, for example? The thing is, even though that's a popular opinion, you just need enough people in the top rank to go against that for you to not be as influential. And that's what's going on with COVID-19 as well.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Truly is.
So,
It's a juicy topic though.
so I feel like there was two parts to that question. One is, of course, the federal and state government, and the other part is how the state is doing and the mayors. So the former part, I'd say you really couldn't have expected much from state governors in the first place. I mean, they are politicians, as I've alluded to, and their stances on like genuine human life been very poor. I mean, these are the same people who won't even take guns out of schools, for the matter. And their solution was to provide body armor for bags.
Oh my god, don't remind me.
So, like,
yeah.
that was already in question in the first place, and the that was already substantial cutting for the Center for Health Diseases, if I'm correct, over the years, and it would have probably spearheaded this fight against the pandemic even more efficiently, and we wouldn't have gotten as bad a situation as it is right now. Um, and then for the second part, Aaron alluded to Trump and how his followers like are starting to bend from what he's supposed to mean, but there's still a quite large of support for him in the same place. But I think that's attributed to most of his empty promises instead of his policy matters for the most part, because I don't. It just feeds the tropes of xenophobia, racism, and of that sort of right to for his followers, and most of them don't really get into policy, get into these laws in the end, like the Great Wall that Mexico was gonna build for America, apparently, and well, we're seeing like a swerve, but not too big of a swerve of like public opinion, and you know even during this pandemic where an election is supposed to be happening soon, it's just ill-timed, and you know that should be a very concrete stance that everyone has to jump aboard on, which is to get everyone healthy, get everyone back on the right track so that they can afford a living for their families, put food on the tables, and just give them a license to live, basically. So that's my take on it.
I mean, I agree with that, dude. Like, just give people the basic stuff and survive. But it's so unfortunate that the world doesn't work like that. And going on your specific thing about, empty promises, I think that's literally what politicians do and what politicians are, because they're the best fucking actors and liars in the world. They say a lot of stuff, end up doing maybe one of the 10-20 things they say, and they ride off that into their next campaign or whatever. And politicians itself, that's a whole different podcast again. Yeah, it's super saddening. I say this every time we bring up COVID. It is saddening to see the state America is in and the world is in. And I really hope we don't have to go back to a point where we're seeing thousands of cases everywhere. Although some places obviously didn't go up to 1,000, maybe even. But it's pretty bad. A lot of European countries are going crazy. This is my last point on it. Like, I saw the stat earlier. Serbia went up 660 cases. And that was super interesting to me because no one visits Serbia. But they still had 660 cases. And I'm like, huh. So people just been living with it in the nation. And now finally they're like, oh shit, it's a problem, guys. Because most of Eastern Europe was in like the double digits, which is where Malaysia's at right now. At the moment.
At the moment.
I think those numbers are gonna continue to grow up, and just everyone stay safe, man. Stay safe till we can go out without worries. Wear your damn masks. Wash your hands. Follow the health guidelines, man. Just do it. Like, what do you lose? But yeah, anyway, that'll lead us into our question of the week. Let's get into our question of the week. So our question of the week is your favorite Malaysian food. Not Singaporean. Fuck Singapore in that sense. Just the food.
Singapore.
Stealing everything. But we'll go down in alphabetical order as usual. Except Amir will be before Jason this time because, A gang. Yo, our numbers are balanced for once. It's 3A, 3J.
Hey,
Okay. Well, my favorite Malaysian food. Ooh, this is tough. I should have thought about this before I made up the question. But it would probably. Nasi lemak, honestly. Like, it's just a go-to comfort food. Eat it any time of day. It's good. It's spicy. Like, it's a well-balanced meal. It's just good all around. Go for it, Aaron.
Favorite Malaysian food? I think no question it would be satay.
Ooh,
I
dude,
love
that's a
satay.
good
I
one,
can
man.
live off satay. I mean, and it's not the healthiest thing, but then again, name Malaysian food that is healthy. Satay is my favorite. They come in different. You can get beef, you can get chicken, lamb, perut, whatever you want. I can eat satay any day, anytime. So that would be my favorite.
Yeah, satay is basically just meat skewers, right? It's like that's what
Yeah,
it essentially is.
pretty much.
And nasi
It's
lemak is
extremely-
rice with like a spicy sauce, anchovies,
sauce?
like a spicy
sambal,
curry.
bro.
Yeah, sambal, bro. But like I'm trying to appease to our white people. You know,
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like a spicy sauce on the side and some anchovies and stuff, and which I don't eat, and a boiled egg usually, and a protein sometimes or most times. Amir, go for it. Your favorite Malaysian food?
I had to think for a bit. I don't know. Because I thought nasi lemak was like a Singaporean dish at first because it originated from there.
Nah.
Okay.
It's all Malaysian, man.
Yeah, Singapore was part of Malaysia, weren't they?
Ah, shit. True.
Yo, Amir, you trolling, bro.
I'm actually not. It's actually true.
Curious,
So I'd probably say char kway teow. It's
Oh, dude,
Oh,
that's a
damn.
good ass pick.
Malaysia has. I'll say satay too because it's so iconic for Malaysian culture as well. But char kway teow, I think you can have it in a really if you have a poor day, just it's easy to cook and you can get it anywhere. It's very accessible.
Dude, it's a good pick me up food. It's a good pick me up food. It's just like, oh man, I had a rough day. I'm tired. Yo, get some char kway teow. You feeling good? Alright, Jason, go.
I'll probably say dim sum. Ha. I mean, like dim sum to me, it's so like it's so filling for me. I love it, and there's like so many different types every time you go there, so you're not getting the same type of food every single time. There's a lot of choices. Also, like an honorary mention would be Yong Tau Fu. That shit hits different too. But yeah, the Yong Tau Fu, man, like the filling with the fish cakes, you know, and everything. It tastes so good, and it always feels like home whenever I eat it. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Shout out Asian girls. Let the lights dim some. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Josh, go for it.
Okay, so I've been having a hard time choosing which, but I noticed that for me, it would be the classic nasi kandar. So,
Yes.
Bro, that's a good
Dude.
pick, bro. There's so much variety there with that pick.
facts, dude. Especially since like for us college students, right? Sometimes you go like broke, you hit bank, so you hit up nasi kandar, you can get like a full ass meal for $5. I mean 5 ringgit, and you're full,
Bro,
dude. That's
I
it.
wish I could get a meal for $5. Sorry.
Yo, dude, only in Malaysia. But yeah, nasi kandar smacks. You get everything you want on your plate.
Nasi kandar is basically like a buffet for. I mean, that's the easiest way to define it. To be honest, it's more complicated.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a
You
buffet.
just get rice and you put everything on top.
Exactly. In the true Asian way. All right, Jude, go for it.
Alright, it's 8 p.m. here, and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I think I know what to get next. Nasi goreng, any variety honestly works. Like, I don't know what they do with the rice back in Malaysia, but it's really good. Maybe it's something to do
Bro,
with
it's
the fact that
MSG, bro.
Thailand-
Straight up.
MSG,
What they
bro,
put
but
in that rice,
Bro.
yo, American Chinese fried rice got MSG. What is the difference? Pretty big
To be
difference.
honest, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. nasi goreng with satay. Oh, satay, bro. Anyway,
Satay. Satay.
but I also love Nyonya Kui, the uh, Malaccan cakes. They're like mildly but perfectly sweet. Kueh, basically kueh, any type of kueh. Those are good. Yeah.
Bangers. Banger picks, boys.
Mad respect.
So last question of the week. Then we have the song recommendation segment. Da 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 da. I'll start us off. My first song recommendation, to nobody's surprise probably, is Supercuts by Jeremy Zucker. Man's back with another single. It's amazing, banger. It's super upbeat, but at the same time, it's like it gets you thinking. Um, and it's a good time. It's a good summer song. Super pretty. And my second song would be, this is an old, not that old now. It's well almost half a decade, but here we are. It's called "I'll Show You" by Justin Bieber. I've been listening to the song since it came out, but as of late, I've been listening to it a lot more. It's a redemption song almost, and yeah, it's just good. I mean, good vibes. Sad. It's like good sad vibes, which is basically what I've been on lately. So yeah, Aaron, take it over.
Okay, well, I'm a bit of a Logic nerd, so it's obvious that my song of the week would be a Logic song.
Would not
especially
expect
from
any
his new-
less after the new
Yes,
album.
for sure. I would have to say No Pressure Intro would be my first song of the week. I just
Shout
it's
outs.
the nostalgia that comes from the style and the theme and the way that he just comes out and starts rapping just reminds me of old school Logic, and it's a blast of nostalgia. And I love that, and it's a great song too. My second recommendation would be "The Climb Back" by J. Cole. I know the song, there's a lot of controversy around it because people don't think it's that good or don't think he has that much to say. But I think it's very return to character for J. Cole, and I like how he's referring to himself as climbing back from the position that he was in. I'm not too sure if you guys know. J. Cole was quote unquote cancelled a month ago due to tone policing and shit like that. So him speaking from the perspective of you guys, I'm gonna climb back to my position. I think is really cool. So yeah, the climb back and No Pressure Intro.
Amir, go for it.
Oh, I'm moving next. Okay. So two songs, right?
Correct.
Okay. The first song will probably be "Exile" by Taylor Swift and a feature by Bon Iver.
Ooh, that's a good one actually.
Yes, dude.
That
Ooh.
new album is actually really good. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, those two voices just mesh really well, and like the album as a whole is just it's better than solid. It's actually incredible. I haven't finished listening to the second half of the album yet, but I will do so soon. And the second song, it's a bit of a nostalgic past that song. Which means I'm just taking a song from the past. So I chose "Stand by Me" by Oasis.
Yes.
Yeah, I just rediscovered
Yes.
like recently. So those are my two songs, and I'm actually like putting all your songs and like just plays to Spotify right now as well, to like re-listen
Hey
to
man,
later.
we have amazing music tastes in this group, and they're very diverse, if I may say so
Facts.
myself.
I agree.
Exactly. All right, Jason, continue.
My first song recommendation this week would be "Need You Most" by the Kid Leroy, out of his new album. It's Go Stream Fuck Love. Um, it's a sample. It's a sample from "So Sick" by
I'm
Neo.
so sick of love songs. Hey,
Really good throwback song, and with Killer Roy just adds his powerful vocals to it. I mean, obviously with some autotune, but it reminds me of Juice. Obviously his mentor was Juice, but yeah, it's a good vibey song. It's sad, like upbeat, sad song. And my second song recommendation would be "Stacy" by Quinn 92. Such a good song. I love his vocals and the drop the beat drop was so catchy, and I fell in love with it when I first listened to it. So yeah, those would be my 2 songs of the week.
Alright, so for me, I've been binging quite a lot of anime lately. So I was listening to some old soundtracks. One of them you guys might be familiar with is Sign by Flow. This was one of the Naruto soundtrack. I'm not too sure which. I think, yeah. So I've been bopping to this lately, and another is Talk Nice by Noro. It's something about the song, like when I've been playing it recently, has a very nostalgic vibe, and I think that's what I've been into lately. So yeah, Jude.
So songs I've been vibing to: Mirrors by Justin Timberlake. Very classic song.
Oh yes, I
One
love
one
that
Yes,
song.
throwback,
dude.
and I think the other throwback I've been doing a couple of throwbacks for the past week is "I'm With You" by Avril Lavigne. So good. Yeah.
Yes. Oof.
Well, that was from left field. I was not expecting that. Anyway, thank you for listening to the podcast. We're 4 weeks in. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Spotify sponsor us. ATS official 2017 at gmail.com. Anyone can sponsor us. Actually, we are desperate in need of money. Anyway, thank you for watching. Uh, thank you to Amir for coming on. Hopefully we'll have you on again sometime soon.
Thanks for the trip.
Yes. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, as because we're on multiple platforms like that, and we'll see you then.
Ciao.
Ciao.